My dad threw me out of the house and I learned what family actually was. When my dad found out I was pregnant, he didn't care that it was a man twice my age who forced himself on me. All he saw was a slut. He threw me out in the snow in the middle of the night. I was 16 and I had no idea where to go. I spent the night in the park bathroom trying not to freeze to death while touching my stomach and thinking about this baby I never wanted. Ms. Nyla found me the next morning sleeping in the school bathroom because I couldn't stay in the park after what happened with those men who kept circling back. She was my English teacher who always said I could write my way out of this town if I just kept believing in myself. She took one look at my garbage bags and I completely broke down. I sobbed so hard I couldn't breathe. "You're coming home with me," she said, and I collapsed against her because nobody had hugged me since that night and I needed someone to tell me I wasn't disgusting. She canceled her classes and drove me to her house. I cried the whole way because kindness felt so foreign. Miss Nyla lived alone in a house full of books and cats that wouldn't leave my stomach alone like they could sense the life inside. She made me a bedroom in her office and came to every doctor's appointment where nurses assumed she was my mother and we never corrected them. At night, she'd hold my hair during morning sickness and tell me about her wife Marina who died 3 years ago. They'd tried for kids for a decade but ran out of time. "Maybe you're both my second chance," she whispered while I threw up again and I sobbed because this stranger was being the mother mine refused to be. We fell into a routine where she watched me do online school while I helped grade papers. Slowly my belly grew and so did this feeling that maybe I could love this baby even though I hated how it started. She'd put her hand on my stomach and tell the baby about all the books they'd read together and all the places they'd see, and I started believing we could actually do this. When Oliver was born, Missy Nyla held my hand through 19 hours of labor while I screamed and begged for my mother who never came. My parents ignored every call from the hospital. She cut his cord and was the first to hold him after me. We both cried when he grabbed her finger with his tiny perfect hand. "Can he call you grandma?" I asked, and she sobbed yes while kissing his tiny head. We went home together and built this strange, beautiful life in her little house. She taught him songs in different languages while I taught him to laugh at my silly faces. He took his first steps reaching for her glasses because they sparkled in the light. He said mama to me and nana to her, and I finally understood that family was about choosing each other every single day. We were happy in a way I never thought possible after everything that happened. My father showed up when Oliver was 2 after my cousin posted a photo of us at the park without my permission. He stood on the porch in his expensive suit saying mom was dying of guilt and wanted to meet her grandson. "Come home and apologize for the shame you caused and maybe we can work something out," he said, like I was the one who'd done something wrong. Miss Nyla stepped between us and told him to leave before she called the police about child abandonment. "That's my daughter you're interfering with," he screamed while Oliver cried and clung to my legs terrified of this angry stranger. "She became my daughter the day you threw her away," Missy Nyla said in that voice that could silence any classroom full of teenagers. My father's face went purple with rage. He pointed at her and screamed that she was a predator taking advantage of vulnerable girls and he'd make sure everyone knew what she really was. I wanted to disappear into the floor, but Ms. Nyla just smiled and said, "Everyone already knows I'm the woman who saved your daughter when you failed her." The next morning, Miss Nyla didn't come to breakfast, and my heart knew something was wrong before my brain did. I found her on her bedroom floor, clutching her chest and gasping my name like she needed to tell me something important. The paramedics worked on her for 40 minutes while she kept trying to reach for me. Oliver kept asking why Nana wouldn't wake up and why her face looked so gray. I begged them to try harder because she's the only family we've ever had. She survived, but at the hospital had to be put on life support where the machines were doing all the breathing and pumping. "She made you medical proxy last year," the doctor said, showing me papers while my hands shook too hard to read them. "She doesn't want extraordinary measures, so you need to decide soon whether to continue life support." I held her hand while Oliver played with her fingers, not understanding why she wouldn't squeeze back like she always did during their morning game. I kept whispering, "Please don't leave us." Full story on the channel below.